of thing is opening up to people that where they realize, oh, my property could actually make me money. And that's exciting, especially I don't
Yes.
know if you know about the recent housing laws that have gone through here in Colorado. It has it's really shaken up municipalities and towns and cities
Yeah.
and even HOAs. The recent law, I'm going to paraphrase a little bit, might not be exact, but it's pretty close, is that a lot of HOAs and towns, municipalities have rules that restrict them from having an ADU, which is an accessory dwelling unit. My tent
Yep.
is an ADU. One of my tents is, so one of my container homes, and that's illegal now. You can't do that. You can't have a law in the books that says you can't utilize your property this way. Um, so now people are opening up to it, going, "Oh, I could put a bus in my yard or something and start
Right.
renting it out. And yeah, I could do something with my property because we're living in a housing crisis. The houses are just outrageous right now.
Yeah.
How are we going to house this growing population? Well, by these laws actually favoring individual landowners over. It's actually the way it's written to forbid those things actually favors the big, huge developers
Right.
because then they're able to build these really expensive houses and sell them for top dollar, and
Yeah.
people are fighting over buying them because there's such a limited supply. And now one of those landowners could go, oh, I could actually pay for my mortgage by renting out this ADU or this room or this basement or this garage and just adjusting it into living quarters. And there's all sorts of rules and regulations that might
Yes.
limit that or permit it, but it's not impossible anymore. You know,
Right.
it's not like you're forbidden from it. It's like you can't do this. Is becoming slimmer and slimmer. How to get it done
Yes.
is what I like to tell. I like to talk to people about that. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I know in Colorado Springs itself, not in the rural El Paso County,
Hmm.
it there are certain rules. It has to be certain size. It has to be on a foundation if you do an ADU. I
Right.
know looking for me, um, in El Paso County, I kind of like um, in the mountains. So I kind of like west of the pass.
Yeah.
And Teller County forbids them, although there's a tiny home park
Hmm.
and they're right next to each other. It's like, no, I want a piece of land and put a tiny home there. I mean, look at we've had wildfires and all kinds of things. If I had a tiny home, now I'm not going to be moving it around, but I could get somebody to come. There's a wildfire and take my whole house and then
Yep.
bring it back. I
Hook it up.
think that
Go.
is a positive for the community, not a negative.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Right.
But that's my
Those
brain.
tiny homes are pretty doggone nice too. They're not shacky looking things. They're
Right.
very nice tiny. Those tiny homes that could be bougie. They're
Right.
really nice.
Well, what gets me is tiny homes are supposed to be economical and they're like over
I
$100,000.
know,
And
I
I'm
know,
just
yeah,
like,
economical, sure.
what happened to I mean, I remember in 2014, I went down to Colorado Springs and they have tumbleweed tiny home down there. And then they had another place that have probably about 500 square feet or so. So it actually comes and it's a tiny home, but it's not, I don't think it's rated as an RV, which most of them are. And they put it like on a foundation. And I'm like, well, how much is it? And I remember in 2014 when they said like $55,000. And I was like, what? That's
Yeah.
ridiculous. Tiny home should be $20,000. And now they're well over
Yep.
150,000.
Yeah. Yeah, they're more like those big RVs and stuff. They're expensive. So, and we
Yeah.
build our own. Our container homes are built out ourselves, so we've kind of bypassed the extra cost of buying a turnkey solution.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
you know, when you're making $5, $6, $7,000 a month, then $100,000 isn't that big of a deal. You know that's if you can if you do it like I do, where it's like a real experience instead of just a place to sleep,
Right.
then you could actually make very good money off of that. And then $100,000 investment, well, you could turn that around and make that back pretty easily.
Right. If it's on there. So I think I'm glad you brought that up. I think the laws and regulations are interesting, and I really like when they start opening up a little bit more to what can happen because we are in a housing crisis.
Mhm.
So whether it's for, yours is recreation, but other people can do it for income
Great.
and help themselves. So that is, again, I just want to touch on. So let's see your business card.
Oh, my business card. Yes, the
Yeah,
glamping guy. I'm the glamping guy online. You see
there
that?
you go.
My
Yeah.
camera's zooming in even. But yeah, if you go to glampingguy.com, it'll forward you to what's called a school community, SKOOL.
Yep.
And I've heard of that. Yeah. I
I'm
have a
familiar.
yes. Well, you should jump in because it's called Your Land is Gold, is my way of because I get a lot of questions from people about how to do what you're doing, Jew, but I want to do over my property. And I've created a solution. And it's a free community, and this group of landowners who are all trying to get a piece of the action, trying to turn their land into a revenue generating asset. And this could be a number of things. It doesn't have to be glamping. I mentioned ADUs, but I've got a member in there. He runs a pumpkin patch, and there's all sorts of events you can do. Agri-tainment's a huge industry.
Yeah.
There's all sorts of things. When a landowner finally sits down and goes, "Gosh, I have this beautiful piece of land. I raised my kids on it, or maybe I have my kids on. I want to put my kids to work or something like that. Do something that could actually generate revenue." That's what Your Land is Gold is all about. And we talk about permitting, we talk about operations, we talk about financing, we talk with everything that is involved with the real estate owner of their own property.
Right.
Uh, I'm your guy. I'm your glamping guy, and because there's so many questions, so many loopholes, and
Yep.
so many traps too. I mean, I actually have one member in there that his story is that he set something up by the Grand Canyon, big glamping operation. He got shut down and fined. So it was like every jurisdiction is different, and that's kind of the problem, but it's also kind of the freedom. You could be sitting on gold. Your land
Right.
could be gold. You could be sitting on a gold mine. I sure did. I make $250,000 a year off of my land.
Right.
I didn't have any. I was a teacher for 20 years before I ended up doing what I'm doing, and I'm like, oh, I'm making a lot more than I was teaching. So and I'm having a lot more fun at it too. I love teaching. I don't want to diss my teaching times, but
No, no.
that's the eye-opening experience that we're having as a group of landowners getting together, talking through this stuff and dreaming what they could do on their own property that they have right underneath their feet.